Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist's biggest secret. So let's jump in. So when you meet the narcissist, of course, they run you through all these wonderful things. They may buy you gifts, treat you like a king or a queen, but unbeknownst to you, in the very beginning, that's all short-lived. And then the nightmare begins. It truly and inherently begins the moment you meet the narcissist. You're just unaware until after it's all over, because what they're doing is conning you. They're duping you, and they get off on doing that because life to them is just a game. You're in a game, and you're in a game with an evildoer. So if you were to play a game with an evildoer, they're going to trick you, manipulate, gaslight, stab you in the back, whatever it takes to get to the end of the board and win. When they meet you, they are infatuated, but they're infatuated with things that you obtain or that you house: your character, your abilities, your gifts, your talents, the way that you move, the way that you operate. You might be smooth with it, where you have passions and the ability to also to see something through to the end, to finish it, to do things right, to complete projects. You may meet them at work, you may meet them out and about, at the gym, at church, wherever. They grab a hold of you and they pump you up in your ego and tell you all these great things that you are, and they seem vulnerable. They seem kind and they seem like they care. They're quick to get you to love and to trust them so they can latch on to you, but they really want to latch on energetically and attach cords to you and create soul ties with you. Intercourse is a huge way of doing that, so that'll be very fast. They're very fast at learning who you are and what makes you tick the best they can. They're not very creative, and they're truly not the greatest actors. That's why I always say they really spell you, because even when you're spelled, you can look at them and kind of know that they're faking, or at least I could. And to continue to go through it to the end and to keep cycling with the individual, it had to be a witchcraft spell. And I know it was, because I found out later. They'll do glamour spells, and they'll do uh, like love magic spells, and they'll spell you while you're doing it with them. They only want supply, and they only want power and control over people. But truly, inherently, what they really want is all of your gifts, your compassion, your love, your support, your validation. They want your faith, your hope, your love. They want all of your goodness, your creativity. They want your money too. And if they can clout chase, they'll do that as well. They'll steal that from you. And they'll ruin you. And they'll ruin you because the greatest secret they have is they envy you. They envy you. And with anything that they want, they're greedy with it, meaning they got to get it all. So if you're doing dealings with them in business, then they're going to try and steal it all out from under you. Even if you're in a partnership with them, they would even try to siphon your side of the bank account, especially if you get people that are involved with IT and forgery documents and things, because that's really truly what they do to everybody that they meet. They become them. So in a sense, they identity thieve, but they do it on a mainly on a spiritual level. But if you stay with them long enough, they'll do it on a 3D, a physical level as well, because they want to become you so bad, because they envy you. They want to identity swap with you. And for them to identity swap with you completely, how witchcraft would work in that situation, it wouldn't be just steal your emotion, convince you that you're their personality and they are yours. You know how they project onto you and make you believe that you're crappy, but you're really not. And you kind of know that, but you're accepting all this negative energy and really truly becoming that individual, because you're taking on that individual's unhealthy energy. But you think they're genuine, or to some degree, you don't think they're to that level of evil, even if you know they're kind of not right. Something's not right. You know, you're getting pinged. Your intuition's pinging you. But you're kind of running it over still because they got you hijacked through your emotions. They like to convince you of things, that they love you and that they care about you, but only to hijack your emotions as quick as possible before that mask comes off, to get you entangled in financial difficulties and in contracts, covenants, and consents. If they're into witchcraft, they may verbalize certain covenants with you and put spells on you and do incantations and things in the night, in the moonlight, do different magic spells to get you twisted up. They will put things that are cursed around your house to have an effect on you because they're completely controlled by the dark energy. So the only thing living in them is the actual avatar. They'll cast these spells on you after they get your vibration down low enough. And they'll get you sick. They may poison you, put substances continually and on a daily basis if they're with you. This is what cult leaders will do to their cult members, or the ones that are high, would be high vibrational, but they need those types in their coven because they need some sort of person to pull fuel off from. Somebody that has creativity, somebody that has love, somebody that has the ability to be savvy financially, really. I mean, they may not look like it. They may look like the weakest of the bunch when they're in this coven, but they get drawn in out of love, get their emotions hijacked, and then get wrecked. But they got to keep that individual, that empath, in that coven. They may be the only one that's an empath. Let's say there's 10 coven members. There may be 9 narcissists, and the one coven member is the one they're always beating on, the one they're slapping around, and the one that is just get treated horrible on a daily basis, moment to moment, and they still stay because they broke them down to where they're so codependent. And that's what they like to do. They get them so codependent and they get so in their head, then they'll be afraid because a narcissist is always afraid of abandonment. So they'll start putting substances in their drinks on a daily basis to get them addicted to something and to keep them looped up. And the individual may not really know it until they're in too deep. It's a sad situation, but this is what happens if you look online in regards to the takedown of covens, because this year has seen several large covens that have been around for decades, and nobody's been able to take them down. A lot of them have been taken down this year, one right after another. From California to Baltimore to Charlotte and Florida, I mean, it's all over. They've been taken down like week to week to week. So, I mean, you praise God for that. But what you find in these situations is they all have similarities that, there's, of course, a coven leader and a lot of the coven members are going to be narcissists. They're going to be pure evil, but there's going to be a couple of empathic people in that group that have been used. And sometimes they wake up. And those are the ones that need to recover. You know how you see movies where people were good individuals, they got jaded really bad, but they didn't lose their soul. But then they looked like they did maybe for a time, and they went with these soulless people and became one of them, right? But then something happened where they heard a conversation or something. They might have listened to somebody online. I mean, somebody with instruction, and it resonated with them at their lowest point, at their lowest moments, when they were just out of fuel for themselves, just wanted to roll over and not wake up. And somebody out there, they might have read something, but something that sparked an awakening in them and got them to reverse the situation and to learn how to heal with some instruction and to walk away from these soulless individuals, as hard as it is, because it's always hard leaving these types. They like to get you entangled. They're entanglements, they're situationships, they're not relationships. They plug in, they hook up, they latch on, but they don't connect on a spiritual, metaphysical, and a spiritual level with you like humanity should. And that's through love, y'all. They don't feel love. So they're pure evil, and we need people like those individuals that come out of those situations to truly recover, because they know how evil really works. And those are the ones that really can show As they become light workers, they can show other light workers what what they have never seen and what's been going on and the strategies that these fools use, because they've been in the trenches, and they're very powerful individuals when they recover. And sometimes they can get blackballed for it and people can hate on them, but a recovered individual that came out of a situation where they were heavily jaded and they were in a cult or a coven, they were victimized. They were feeding the whole coven because they need your fruit, your goodness. They need your creativity. You're a jewel. You know what I learned, and you'll learn this too if you don't know this, but this is what I've learned lately. You'll have your ex and stuff, your ex narcissist or whatever come into your life, and they will look at what they can steal from you. They want your fuel, of course, but even like financially and things in the 3D, the physical things, objects, because they're all about objects. And they want to make you an object for their use, as their property, to control and to abuse, to use as a new toy and then throw you away and pick you up off the shelf whenever they choose to. But what I've seen is the ex-narcissist that I was with. She was looking at all the benefits and prizes that she could win from being with me, all the gifts she can get from me. And what she neglected to see or to find within herself, because she had no heart, was that God had sent me as her gift. And still to this day, they don't get it. They will eventually get it. But that's the truth, y'all. You were the gift. You were the gift sent by God to the narcissist. You were. Not all the crap around you. Because what you make them successful, your fuel, your energy, your love, your compassion, your grounding, you balance them. You don't need to, you don't want to. Nobody's supposed to regulate somebody else's emotions. It's not fair, it's not right. It's always abusive. But it wasn't what was around you, and that's what they were looking to steal all the time. What could they take from you financially, physically? How could they get this and that out from under you? When truly the abundance, all of the abilities to go far beyond that, were just you in your physicality. And that's why I say when you leave them and you heal and you learn to operate under certain principles, certain firm boundaries, and learn to love yourself. You have to love yourself before you can help others or other injured people, before you can be a blessing. You have to learn to be able to operate around wicked people when you have to and not get sick, not get touched. And also learn to not give in to help them when they play the victim. All of those are boundaries, and you have to love yourself, truly. And just know that God wants to use you, but when you don't love yourself, you corrupt yourself, really, because you'll lower boundaries down to evildoers, and you'll put them in charge of you. When you let your boundaries down, you let evil run in. And when they get behind the walls of your castle, they will wreck it. They don't want you to know that if you wake up, and when you wake up, if you operate correctly and you learn to find ways to heal and stay on your business, you'll be self-made. You'll be out the mud like a lotus flower. Nobody thought it could ever happen. And when you come out the mud, they might mock you and laugh at you, but as you continue to grow your empire, your business, find your passions, and you expand on them, whether you're making money or not, just continue to work on perfecting it, doing something new and innovative, something nobody has ever done before, with your own creative abilities, without the cloudiness and the fog of the narcissist rummaging through your head and floating around you. God blesses people that leave narcissists. Because when you leave a narcissist, you don't really want to. It's hard to. Because you do deal with the addiction of the situation, of the hot and cold in the endocrine system and trying to level that off. But you're also used to a little bit of that chaos, really. They get you kind of used to those ups and downs because there's a weird excitement about it. You really hate it, but you can get addicted to it a little bit if you're around it too long. And being alone and being in solitude, it it could be something that takes a little getting used to in the very beginning. But once you level that off and chill out, that's where you want to be. You'll be addicted to that, to peace. You know, uh, you won't feel like you're missing out on the party. You'll feel like they're wasting their time and they're missing out on their life, and they're bulldozing it out there while they're partying. Every day they're wrecking themselves because they're doing things that are going to catch up to them. They're not perfecting and sharpening themselves up. They don't have a passion and a will to live like you do. Yours is deep, yours is well rooted, and yours won't change. Once you get there, it's only up. And when you go up, they must come down because they're wearing a lot of your fuel, and that fuel has to be drawn back to you at some point in time as you cut soul ties and cut those energetic cords. And they'll come back. They'll test you several times because God's going to test you with them to see if you're going to be weak, because he can't level you up until he knows you're going to refuse that narcissist continually and you have learned your lesson. And he will mount you up on wings as eagles, and you will fly, baby. You will run and not be weary, and you will walk and not faint. And just like footprints in the sand, man, it's like when you can't walk no more, Christ will come and pick you up and carry you himself to whatever destination you have to get to. He will get you there. And it will be in miraculous ways. But that's why you have to have faith. But the faith, like I said a few months ago, that faith will not be blind faith. Some people act as if blind faith's going to get them somewhere. That's like that's like gambling. You don't gamble with God. The faith that you have is also something that resonates inside your spirit that knows this is going to work out. And you will have the unction to leap out in that faith because you put the work in. A lot of people in church today, they want to leap out in this blind faith and start some stupid business. It's never going to work. But they say that the Lord's going to protect it and make it grow because they're going out in blind faith. They didn't put no work in. They're not living right. They're not operating right. And they're not going to spend their finances right. You know, God wants you to be blessed and then to bless others as well. To be a positive and not a negative. To make true change in your own life and to help the world to make some true change as well. And that's how we heal the land. We heal the land. We heal the land when we give back more than we've taken to people, to society, to the world. And only then will we begin to heal the land. And you can only operate in that type of positivity with the backing of the Lord. For it to truly be truthful, a true blessing. People say they're doing things and they have philanthropists and stuff out there, but they can give money and all kinds of stuff, but it doesn't work because their truth isn't with it. Their passion isn't with it. There's either some greed, some tax breaks, and there's nobody with heart in it. It's just, like I said, without love, you're just noise. They're just making a bunch of noise out there. They have a photo shoot and they look like they're doing something. But without love behind it, without your true passion and your blood, sweat, and tears, people won't hold on and grasp onto that emotion and want to be a part of it truly. And that's how you really expand. You find your soul tribe, people that are like-minded with you. You know, you may be really different and have been your whole life. And you're always like, Lord, why am I so different? Why don't people think like I do? But he was keeping you hidden and working on, your spiritual muscle. You weren't in the dark. You were just unaware of who you truly were until the time is right for you to light up like the sun, baby. Like the sun. Thank you for watching. They envy you. They can never be you because they're just a puppet for the puppet master behind them, dark energy. And the dark energy is just a parasite. And once it totally takes over the narcissist, then it's going to come to that you as a supply source, and they're going to want to expand their territory. And that's why the narcissist is always fixed. They're like cement. They're one way, their way, and you can never get them to change anything. That's not the narcissist. It's not humanity. You know what that is? That's a dark energy. That's fixed. That's robotic. There is no personality to that thing in there. The only personality they have is when they steal it from you.